Welcome to episode 151. Did I just say that right?
151.
Because I told you that, right?
Yeah.
I said 73 earlier. Sean Malto. I mean, I want to begin by asking you the question that I ask everybody that's a part of the podcast, and it's pretty much a simple question, but very complex.
Okay.
Who are you today?
Wow.
I know, right?
Today, I am a snowboarder.
Okay.
Usually, I'm a skater, but, I'm going to take the weekend off and hit the slopes.
How's it been so far?
So far, so good. Last year was really cold. This year, it's been a little more mellow. It's been a little warmer, which has been nice, and the snow's been great. But, yeah, having a great time here. Tour hosting us, so, yeah.
Where are you based out of?
More. Los Angeles.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Big golfer?
I am. Yep. So this is my collection I did with Malbon Golf.
Yep.
So.
Are you familiar with Good Golf?
Good Golf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah, those are my boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sick.
Their office is literally right next to my door in Frisco, Texas.
No
Yeah,
way.
really good kids.
Okay, so you're in Texas.
I am in Texas, Dallas, Texas, by way of Chicago. Been in Texas for 5 years.
Okay.
This past December was our 5th one. This is going into our 6th year. And essentially the reason that we moved down there was because I sold my company to one of the owners of the Texas Rangers. And from there, we just migrated over there. I'm a big bass fisherman, so it was perfect for me. And spending 27 winters in what I consider some of the closest places on earth in Chicago, just not my thing.
Definitely.
Look at the skin I'm in, man. I'm not supposed to be out there.
I mean, I'm from Kansas City.
Okay.
So,
originally from Kansas City.
Yeah. So we're Midwest.
Yeah. So
we didn't get as harsh as winters as Chicago, but I'm used to the seasons.
I think it's the wind more than anything.
Yeah.
And it's windy because of the politicians, but also because of the lakefront, and that's what really makes it that cold. So tell me about your story, man. You started skating at what age? How did you find out about it? Did you see something? What was it that ignited that long life passion now?
Yeah, so I started skating when I was 10 years old.
In Kansas City?
Kansas City, yeah. Actually, Leavenworth, Kansas at this point. My dad was in the military, so he lived on Fort Leavenworth military base. But we used to swim in this pool, and there was kind of a DIY skate park across the street. And I have 3 older brothers, and 2 of them just gravitated towards it. And so I just followed them into it, and then fell in love with it, and it was just something we could all do together, and then it just kind of progressed. But I was the youngest one, so
the most agile also, right?
Well, when when your brothers learn something, you have to learn it as well.
Absolutely.
It's can't be left behind.
No.
Little brother syndrome. So
what's the age difference?
So right now I'm 33. There's a brother 3 years older than me, and then my brother Justin is 5 years older than me. So
38.
I'm 38. Yeah.
Yeah, so 38-year oldest brother.
Yeah.
And was it a matter of them handing you down one of their skateboards, or how did you?
We all kind of got in it together.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just strolled into the skate park. Lucky enough for us, they were cool about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it could be a little. Get a little awkward sometimes.
Does it?
It can be. Skaters, especially back then, were a little, I don't know how you would say it, but
protective over the spot?
Protective, of course. Yeah,
you have to, right? Something that you care about, you have to protect.
There's gatekeepers for sure, but they were all right, here, you guys can share this board, and then eventually gave us parts. Eventually, we started asking for shit, Christmas and whatever, and then it just snowballed from there.
Any video games in your life early on?
Video games? Played GoldenEye on Nintendo 64.
Yep.
I'm sure you get that one a lot.
I do.
Yeah,
it's one of, because it's a shooter, it's maybe the first-person shooter out there.
That was one of the sickest games I think ever.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah.
They just re-released it. I didn't play it, but apparently it's all right. It doesn't have the same sort of you're not as fulfilled as you were when you were a kid.
Yeah. Especially
with now Call of Duty obviously being as great as it is graphically. You have Counter-Strike. You have all the other incredible shooters.
For
so
sure.
It makes it different. All right, so you tell me about growing up in Fort
Fort Leavenworth.
Fort Leavenworth.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like? School?
It was so it's a military base, and my dad was a lieutenant colonel in the military, so it was a little tight. It was a little strict.
Yeah.
But by the time my brother was able to drive, it kind of like opened up a whole new world for us. Then we were going down to Kansas City and going to Warped Tours and just like whatever. And that's when I met all the guys at Escapist Skate Shop in Kansas City. A shop that I still ride for to this day.
Hell
and
yeah.
Met them, and then they just started to
What was
like
the name of the shop?
Escapist Skateboarding.
Escapist Skateboarding.
Yeah,
Okay.
so just started hanging out with them, and then started filming, and then sending out sponsored tapes to various companies that I loved, and and then it finally got some calls back.
What does that consist of? Like, just like you doing tricks, street skating?
Yeah, so just street skating. You compile the best like minute of your stuff, and then at the time it was a VHS tape, and then we mailed it to companies that I liked. And then if a company liked it, they might send you a couple boards, and then you keep sending them your tape. So for Girl Skateboards, for example, they called me and they're like, hey, we really like what you're doing. We see potential. We'll send you like 2 boards a month. Can you just keep sending us tapes?
Okay.
And then so I think I was on my 7th or 8th, they call it sponsor me tapes, before I actually went on a trip with them.
Okay.
And then that turned into, they were like,
What was that trip?
that trip was to Canada.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that your first time out of the state?
First time, first time out of the country.
Okay.
Because my dad was military, so we bounced around a little bit. But yeah, we went up to Canada.
Do you remember where?
It was, where was it? Toronto. Yeah, we went to Toronto.
Love Toronto.
Yeah, T-Dot.
I mean,
Good place.
we were just there last year. We're going there this year for a Call of Duty tournament.
Cool.
It's like a traveling circus almost. There's 12 franchises in the Call of Duty League. Each franchise costs $27.5 million to get in, and you essentially buy into it, and it's like the NBA. Your franchise is your franchise forever, localized. We obviously have the Dallas one. Before this one, we had the Chicago one, and then we ended up where we're at now. But Toronto, man, it's a beautiful, beautiful spot.
I have a question. How does it work in the gaming industry? How do you get into it? Like, what's, like how I was saying you like send in sponsor me tapes, right? Like, how does that work for?
Same thing. That's why I
Really?
was so curious about it, because you were making videos, but you were doing VHS. So what year was this around?
I mean, this was when I was
Pre-YouTube?
10, so 23 years ago.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's that? Mathematicians was 23 years ago
2000.
in 2000. So
Yeah.
YouTube came about in 2005-ish.
Okay, so 5 years before YouTube.
Yeah, 5 years before YouTube, you were already making that. I had a basketball mixtape for myself. I was gonna send that in for N1.
Sick.
Never did. But YouTube is the reason why Call of Duty became what it became.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of people that were just sharing their highlights. The same way you share your tricks, cool shots happen in the game, like difficult shots to make. And people were making these shots, and they would say, "Oh my God, I just jumped out this window, and as I was falling, I shot this guy across the map." Everybody's like, "Bullshit." So people started to figure out a way to record this phenomena that was happening online, where people wanted to see people's top plays. And that's essentially how it happened. I just started recording gameplays in which I dominated a lobby, educational sort of tutorials, how to navigate a map, etc. And then I found people way better than me, younger people way better than me in Call of Duty, and I've dedicated my life to supporting them to, become the superstars that they are today.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wish I had it myself to do it for myself, right? But I ended up just doing it for other people. It's just as fulfilling.
As someone has to do your job,
Yeah. Yeah, look, I'm not complaining. I'm sitting here. I just had to do food reviews for my work today.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Yeah, you got the optics chain.
Yeah, this is the first of its kind. And then after that, we just started sort of initiating people, or just giving them people who have been with us for a long time. Roger's been with me for like 5 years. The 2 other dudes that were here been here for like 10 years. So we've had this for a very, very long time.
So I go through very addictive spurts of Call of Duty.
Okay.
When I'm in it for like 4 months of like 6-hour days, and then I just got to put it down for a little bit.
Yeah.
And pandemic was a big one for me.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of people.
How was skating during the pandemic?
It was weird. It was hard because like I had a couple things that I pulled into my garage that I could pull out on the street, which felt cool, but that felt like little kid style, right? Like I felt like I was back when I was 11 years old with my brothers in the driveway of our house. But and then it just, being a pro skater for this long and skating the best parks and spots in the world, it just got like felt so cooped up.
Yeah.
And so like, leaned a lot into video games, a lot into, playing poker over Zoom with friends and things like that. And you had to get creative to pass the time.
I only ask because since it's an outdoor, sport.
Yeah.
So is fishing, and I'm involved in this fishing company called Guggen, and that was one of the best years we ever had in terms of the amount of baits that we were selling, because everybody was, you can isolate in the middle of the lake, right? So people who weren't going to work were going fishing.
You know what one of the coolest parts of the pandemic, like not to say that pandemic was terrible.
Horrendous, of course.
Horrendous. I hate, like, everything about it sucked. But, as a positive, it turned a lot of my friends that had jobs, it turned them into pro skaters almost, because they were getting paid.
Yeah.
Their weekly, whatever that was.
Skate.
And then they just skated every day. So I did get to skate a lot with friends that I haven't got to skate with over the years, which was amazing. It sucked that it had to come at a time like that.
Yeah.
But,
and in the manner in which it came around.
Exactly. Like, it was a very scary time. And that's what I said. Like, in the beginning, skating was weird because I was like, I don't want to see anybody. Like, I'm too scared to touch a doorknob. You know what I mean? They were like, if a package comes, you might die. You got to spray it down with Lysol.
How crazy was that?
Right? That was such a weird time.
Yeah. Just goes to show, right? Information or lack thereof drives decision-making from the general public, and sometimes you end up sort of being afraid and of almost interacting with people.
Of course. And then that has repercussions as time goes on.
Yeah.
It took a second to get around
they
people.
They did a really good job of explaining how one person turns into 93 really quickly, right? Because this person was in contact before, who was in contact before, et cetera, et cetera. And, Texas, as the state is, it was so against it, and you were anti-American if you wore a mask, but you were also anti-science if you didn't wear it. So you were, in Texas specifically, you were
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas and Florida had their own things going on.
They did.
I was in California, so I was good. We were all kind of on the same page. We were like, cool, just wear a mask, chill out.
Yeah.
Let's get through this.
Yeah. So, obviously, out of that came a lot of good things came out of that, if I do say so myself, right? The barcode, what do you call that? The QR code for your menu. That should be on everything. I think that popularized it so much. I like that. I like the fact that what else? It normalized wearing a mask at the airport. Every single time that I've gotten, the sickest I've ever gotten has been sitting next to some sick person next to me. The one specific time that I remember is this one fucking 13-year-old little punk who was fucking sneezing and coughing in the air. So it's like, first of all, what are you doing up here? Right, where are your parents? Why aren't you back?
Yeah.
And this dude didn't give a fuck. He was blowing his nose. I saw green as your hat. It was just not good. And I got home and I was sick for like a week.
Well, Asian culture was, if you're sick, you wear a mask so you don't spread it.
Yeah.
It's not like you don't wear a mask to
protect yourself.
You wear a mask to protect others.
Yeah.
Which is like a very respectful thing that people should adopt,
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay home, please. All right. So aside from the pandemic, you're skating regularly. What was obviously your life changes, right? You go from traveling the world, as you were mentioning, right? Skating the best places that you could have ever imagined, doing what you love to do. How hard was it for you to sort of reacclimate to the ability to travel as much as you did? Or did you welcome it as soon as it happened?
Oh, I was ready for it.
Yeah?
There's certain types of people and everything, right? So in skating, there's people that love like their routine at home and their spots at home. Like Mike Mo Capaldi, who I grew up with in the industry, he was always like, I want to be home, I want my routine, and I want to skate these certain spots. And I was the exact opposite. Like, I felt better on the road. I felt better skating spots that were fresh and new, and I mentally was like, I'll never skate this place again. I should maximize it right now. And so as soon as it was available to get out, I was out. I was like, I want to get out on the road. I want to travel. I want to see new spots, skate, hang out with people, whatever. So I was like, right when it was ready, I was out.
Was it something scheduled for you, or were you the one that scheduled the place that you were going to go and enjoy freedom for the first time?
Kind of a little bit of both. You know, it was really hard for larger companies to tell you to do anything for a while. So they were like, hey, if you have a place you want to go, just go, and then maybe we'll like be able to like on the back end. So a few friends of mine, we went to Mexico. Like,
what part?
Sayulita.
Where's that?
Sayulita's like Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
And then it's like kind of like a
that
little
I
surf
know.
town in there.
Sayulita.
Yeah. So
to surf or
to
both?
surf and hang out and then skate too. And
cool.
it was like it's kind of a mixture of both. Like, let's get out and like whatever.
Yeah.
And then went to Copenhagen and ended up going to like Greece and doing like whatever, doing a little Euro trip.
I grew up in Juarez, Mexico.
Okay.
I was born in El Paso, Texas, and El Paso and Juarez are like 15 minutes apart. And my first memories of skating was there in Mexico, barefooted. I was skating, and that is the reason I stopped skating was because I was skating barefoot, and I jumped off the skateboard, and my toe peeled back a little bit. I know, right? Is that a human thing that everybody just hates when their nails just get peeled off?
Yeah.
It's the worst. But it's kind of particular. If I say I broke an arm, I broke an elbow, I broke something, people understand. But the second you say anything about your nails or your teeth, everybody's like, oh, they just feel it.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I mean, I've knocked my teeth out. These three are fake. Yeah.
How did that happen?
It's the worst.
And I also do want to ask you what your favorite place is, but so just to keep it in the back. I smoke a lot of pot, right? So I do tend to forget a little bit.
I got you. Yeah,
so you were saying how did that happen?
So I was skating into a pool when I was 14. Actually, I might have been I was 14 at the time. Just got my braces off like 2 months before, and I was skating into this pool, and it started to drizzle, and I just wasn't paying attention, and I jumped in, and my feet just went right underneath me and smashed my teeth out. The thing is I could see this one and this one. They were all jagged, but I couldn't see this one. So I was looking for my tooth in the pool. And I was like, where the fuck is my tooth, right?
And then
like,
your tongue felt it.
No. And then, so I couldn't find it. I had my brothers with me. They couldn't find it. I ended up going to the dentist. Or I had to go to the hospital first to like clean out everything. Then I went to the dentist. And when they did x-rays, they realized that I broke half of it off and the other half went into my nasal cavity.
Oh, man.
So they had to go in and get it.
Oh.
And then like...
My eyes tearing.
Yeah, they had to put like makeshift braces. It was like straight up like dabs of super glue and a wire just like to like hold it all in place. And then that was my first year of... My first year of high school, I had to go and take my high school photos with that setup.
Freshman year.
That sucked. That sucked. People were making fun of me. I was like, damn.
I'd wear it as a badge of honor. It's like, I do gangster ass shit.
I mean, you know, if I knew what I know now back then, maybe. But then I was just like, I'm scared of everything, and I don't want anybody to look at me and like whatever.
Is that the worst injury you ever had?
Pardon the interruption. I know that you guys have been enjoying the conversation that I've been having with man Sean Malto, one of the most interesting people that I've ever met. The flying through the air with something attached to you that has wheels. It's always not attached to you, but somehow attached to you, right? Because they're flying, the skateboard separates and they bring it back. Long story short, I know that you guys were enjoying the conversation, but let me tell you a little bit about HelloFresh, which right now you can get up to 60% off right after I tell you the deal. If you guys don't know, HelloFresh makes mealtime easy with delicious recipes made with fresh, wholesome ingredients delivered to your door. No lines, no hassle, just great tasting meals you can whip up and enjoy in the comfort of your own home. And since March is National Nutrition Month and HelloFresh makes it easy to choose delicious dietitian approved meals, simply look for the dietitian wing tag on their menu of choices for meals. Under 700 calories within 1/3 of less sodium. Powering up with protein is easier than ever with HelloFresh. Just check for the protein smart tag on their menu to quickly find the recipes featuring 30 grams or more of protein, like one pot pork and black bean chili or creamy Dijon dill chicken. Ooh, that sounds amazing to me. HelloFresh knows how busy you are. That's why they take care of the meal planning and prepping, freeing up the extra time in your schedule with pre-proportioned ingredients, foolproof recipes, and convenient doorstep delivery. HelloFresh makes it easy to get dinner on the table. With HelloFresh, you're getting seasonal ingredients picked at peak ripeness for quality you can taste. Ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days, so you know that they are super fresh. Right now, if you go to HelloFresh.com/HECZ60, H3CZ60, and use code H3CZ60 for 60% off plus free shipping. So go to HelloFresh.com/HECZ30, H3CZ60, and use code H3CZ60 for 60% off a free show. I'm going to put the link in the description to make it super easy for you to do. Just use code H3CZ60 for 60% off free plus free shipping. So that is our sponsor for the day. Everybody, make sure you check it out. America's #1 meal kit. Link in the description. Making it super easy for you to go. Let's go back to Colorado. Let's go back to talk to my man Sean Malto.
That was like, well, it's like you said, like the nails and teeth are hard because like you were constantly reminded of it. So like anytime like breathing was like, this kind of hurts a little bit, and like eating sucked and everything. But I think my worst injury was my ankle. I had
You right one?
right one, rolled it super bad. Dislocated it to where my tibia and fibia hit the ground.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if you were to think like it like dislocated and hit the ground. So had to like pretty much
that just happened to Luka Doncic, I think.
Really?
Yeah, he stepped over someone and he not only did he hyperextend, but also his ankle like jabbed into the ground.
When did that happen?
Like 3 weeks ago, a month ago.
Oh shit.
Yeah. From what I can remember, I
hope he's all right. Yeah.
So he's back. He's already
mine
back.
was reconstructive surgery. I was out for like a year and a half.
Did it break through skin or?
It broke through skin. Yeah. So
Jesus, man.
But like, it wasn't like the bone shot through the skin. The bone hit the ground and split the skin. But what happened is I got bone bruises, and then they had to reattach it and do the whole thing, and it just takes a long time for ligaments to like take, you know what I mean?
I've twisted my ankle horribly once playing ball. I couldn't play basketball for 3 months. It was the worst thing. I was in high school. It's the only thing that I loved doing, that and graffiti. And it took me out of both. I couldn't go to train yards. I couldn't go to underpasses. I couldn't go paint walls. And I also couldn't play my favorite thing to play on a daily basis. And I can only imagine for somebody who is not only, how long ago did that happen?
This happened 7 years ago.
So you were already a
almost.
pro.
Yeah.
So did that affect any of your sponsorships or work a little bit?
It was, luckily I had great sponsors, you know. I was with Mountain Dew already. I was with Nike. They like knew that, they saw like the work ethic that I have, and they were like, okay, so we trust that you're going to try your hardest to get back.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So I was lucky enough to have sponsors that trusted in me, which was great. But it was a scary time, you know. It was a time where you're like, is it over? I have no idea. But thank God I was able to get through it. And
how long was the recovery?
It was like a year and a half of like, a year and a half till I was able to like skate, like get into the contest circuit again. And it was probably another 6 months after that until I felt like real comfortable. So it was like,
was there any physiotherapy?
Oh, the entire time.
The whole time?
The whole
what
time.
Did that consist of? Bands and shit?
It starts as like picking up marbles with your toes. So it's all boring, and then band work. And then, you know, it's kind of one of those things where like you get injured and it takes so long, so you don't really get any younger at the same time. So like the physical therapy has just honestly stuck with me this entire time.
So you still do it?
I go twice a week still.
Oh.
Still work on the ankle, but it's kind of shifted to like full body, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Is so that any other mid to mild, or is that the
meniscus surgery in my left knee?
Let's go through your through your badges of honor real quick.
All right, let's see. Reconstructive ankle surgery, meniscus on my left knee.
How did that happen?
That was in Toronto, actually.
Okay.
My first trip, I tried to tray flip a double set, and I slipped out. And like meniscus it's like not that crazy, you know. You can push through, and like I was skating on it for like maybe a year or two through it. Eventually, it just started to kind of click and get stuck. But that was mellow. They just went in, they snipped it out, and like I was like fully back skating 100% in like 6 weeks. So that was like super mellow. I broke my arm snowboarding. Guess we can kind of add that in since we're in this on the slopes.
Yeah.
That one pissed me off because I broke it snowboarding.
Yeah. How's that? Like,
did
you crash into something or was it a fall?
Nah, I was trying to jump over this thing. I jumped and I went and I landed in a manual and slipped out. So I was like, oh, I'm going to lean forward. And then I jumped and leaned forward and my nose dug in and I cartwheeled over my arm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where?
Right here. But it was like mellow. It was like they just set it, put it in a cast. I was super young, so it was like easy.
What is we'll start with your favorite, but also like the most, maybe it's the same part. Where's the best place you've ever skated in?
All right, so the best actual spot-wise is probably somewhere in China. I would say like Shenzhen. Like the actual spots to skate in are insane. They're super good. There's a lot of them. You don't really get kicked out there.
How's that culture over there?
It's great. It's like, it's one of those that, it's a little hard, you know, the language barrier is like pretty real there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people speak English and like getting around is tough. And, you know, you have to watch the water a little bit and like, whatever. It's not the easiest, but it's not hard by any means.
Like drinking the water.
Like brush your teeth with bottled water,
Yeah.
and like, you know, you got to watch your back a little bit. Just there are things that
Same as Mexico.
exactly we're not accustomed to. I would say my favorite city for everything is probably like Barcelona.
Really?
Barcelona's great.
Okay.
Skating's amazing. There's a beach, which is incredible. The food there is incredible. Nightlife is great. Everything there is just has it all.
I've never been.
I highly recommend
Yeah,
it.
my brother-in-law's from Spain. I think Barcelona, so I think, or Madrid, one of the two.
Madrid's great too.
Yeah.
Madrid's great too, but Barcelona, you have like the beach and the whole thing, you know? It's a little more lively in Barcelona.
It's amazing. As far as like the best views you've ever been a part of, is it here?
Views?
Yeah, views-wise.
I mean, this incredible views here. I will say I took a trip through New Zealand, and that was insane.
Yeah, indescribable almost.
Yeah.
It's one of I think it's in Apple TV's background.
Yeah. It's like
gorgeous?
Some Lord of the Rings shit.
Yeah.
It's like some real actual. I remember we had an 8-hour drive that turned into more of a 15-hour drive because every couple hours we had to pull over and like shoot photos because we're like, this might be the most beautiful thing we've ever seen in our lives. And like that happened like every couple hours. But I cannot complain. This place is crazy.
Yeah, you mentioned you were up there at 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
6 in the morning?
7 a.m.
Oh,
7.
7
I woke up at 6, got up there at 7, and we went straight to the top, 12,000 feet. The peak of this place is, and it's the whole views of everything. It's so beautiful here.
How hard is it to breathe up there? Because I can tell you, like even right now having this podcast,
I'm having trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the first thing that I noticed as soon as I got off the plane. I'm like,
but
simple tasks like made it super difficult for regular things to do. I mean, I'm not in the best shape ever. Still very athletic. I always make it a point to correct people, right? Even my condition, I'll still be a contender in any game of 21.
Yeah, you can ball.
Yeah, I can definitely hoop. So what did you just snowboarded the whole time?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, so down here it's hard because you're just chilling and like walking upstairs. Up there at 12,000, when you're at the top, it's crazy windy, so there's almost like a survival mode. You almost like lock in, so like being out of breath or like kind of tripping on like how your body feels, like you don't even think about it just because like you're like, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
I need to like lock in. I need to make sure like I'm good, you know?
What is your greatest accomplishment that aside from getting paid to do something that you love, like an award or something that's the most memorable for you?
You know, like for me, I would say like it's the video parts.
Okay.
Like I think my pretty sweet part is like maybe some of the best actual work I've put together. And video parts are one of those things that like live on forever.
Amen.
You know, like I've won some contests and I've done well in certain events, and I am very grateful for that. But like a video part is something that like that lives on as like your legacy. So I'm psyched that I was able to put together something for Pretty Sweet, and you know, I'm psyched to continue to work on a part now and to try to continue that.
How often are you filming yourself doing your daily life?
So we go out and skate it. Like we go skate street and like try to film stuff probably 3 or 4 times a week.
Hell yeah.
Always, you know.
You have your own YouTube channel that you distribute, or do you put it on your sponsors?
It's mostly sponsor stuff, yeah. But you know, it's one of those things. It's like some days are better than others, you know.
Because of the amount of like the tricks that you're able to execute,
the tricks, film, and then LA is hard too because you got to think there's a lot of skaters in general and a lot of pro skaters, and then like you get to a spot, and one thing in skating is like it's frowned upon to repeat a trick that someone else has done. So and then you know you're kind of battling. You're trying to find spots that not many people have skated, and if you go to those spots that a lot of people have skated, then you're really limited in what tricks you can do. So that's why we like to get on the road a little bit.
What's the most innovative trick you've ever seen up until this point?
It's hard. I mean, there's so many talented people these days, and they can combo it all, you know?
Yeah.
I would say like, I don't know, like Carlos Ribeiro is someone that like switch flip back nose blending handrails is insane to me. I mean, honestly, Shane O'Neill is like, he's one that he just keeps going. He keeps getting better, and like it keeps getting more and more tech in like a very tasteful way. So I would say Shane's probably the most innovative skater for our generation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does a really good job with his video capture also.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I think you know, one of the best things that I've learned from YouTube is that although you are creating these pieces of content for people to be entertained by, you're also creating you're immortalizing moments that you're going to want to relive in the future, that you're going to be able to say, you know, maybe one of your grandkids, whether girl or boy, says like, Dad, you know, Grandpa, what's this skate thing? And then you're able to be like, well, when I was young, like your parents or whatever, look at what I was doing, right?
When I was young.
Yeah, when I was young back in my day.
Check this shit out.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, I think immortalizing and you know, having those moments live in a place where you can always refer to as a library that documented your life. That's why I started this podcast, because I'm in such a, you know, gaming is in such a place where if you don't capture the moments that are happening right now, they're going to get lost forever.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do my part, at least for my team, to capture what made my team my team. If the Cowboys were able to have cameras back when they first started, right? Or, I mean, picture any team, any game, anything, they would totally want to have that in the bank for them to sort of recall and restructure. So I'm a big fan of capturing today for it to be enjoyed in the future also.
For sure. And how's Optic? Like you guys are on YouTube or Twitch?
Yeah,
everything, I'm sure.
We were the first to sort of initiate the content side of gaming. Our approach from the beginning was to, you know, capture the moments of competition more than anything. And to this day, we're the winningest Call of Duty team of all time.
No way. That's amazing.
Congrats.
Yeah.
I'd say thank you. I do say thank you, but you know, it's all credit to the boys that were out there playing. These young dudes are just like, their hand-eye coordination, and it's not just about shooting. It's also about calculating math on the go. Understanding the game spawns, because you know, when you kill somebody here, they appear somewhere else.
Yeah.
The amount of calculation that goes on while at the same time trying to track your enemy and take them down is just like, it's commendable. It's one of the most interesting things that I've ever done in my life. I'm 43 years old as I sit here, and you know, gaming for me is I almost found it a duty for me to record as much as I could. The podcast also, that, you know, somewhere in the future, someone is going to study esports and how it became as competitive as it became, as mainstream as it's become, and they're gonna do their research, and hopefully my podcasts have, something to help the kids continue to, take this on.
Absolutely. Congratulations. Yeah. What system are you on?
PC now, but
PC.
I was a 360 guy.
But PC that's the fastest, right?
PC is the fastest. I play on a controller though.
Okay.
With a scuff, which have paddles in the back.
Okay.
What do you play on?
PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
All right. If I'll get a controller out to you so that you can have the optic one.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's got paddles in the back. It'll make you a better player. I guarantee it. Just your movement alone will improve the second that you touch this thing.
Cool.
Yeah, I got you on that.
Because my game is like I feel like I'm all right. You know what I mean? But like
same. I
want to play with the pros. I thought I was psyched because when Sam was saying like this podcast was happening, I was like, what are we playing?
Yeah,
I thought we were
yeah.
gonna have the system set up.
Yeah. Nah. This is more
time.
conversational, and also you'd want to play with like one of my players, right? The Scumpies, the Dashies, the Shotsies.
I mean, they might.
Oh,
they would destroy me.
It would be the equivalent of me trying to skate, going down the ramp. I tried skating when I was in high school again. Going down the ramp, I said I'm cool. Then I got a boosted board, not the same thing. Not saying it's the same thing. Don't get me wrong.
No. Whatever.
That was the easiest thing that I can. And I busted I ate shit like constantly, so it was pretty cool.
What about snowboarding?
Snowboarding, we didn't get a chance to do it this time around, but I am looking forward to it. Last time I was here, I was here for the X Games.
Okay.
And they also had the X Games for Halo at the time.
Oh, cool.
And if you won, you got a gold medal. We have 2 gold medals in Call of Duty. And at first it was like back in call it 2014, 2015 is when video games enter the X Games, and completely understood that it was going to be, received, good or bad. Some people are like, man, these professional athletes are out there risking their lives, flying through the air, doing fucking tricks and doing all this thing. And we're like, hey, we got invited. It's a good opportunity. We had to do it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I skated in the first X Games that gaming was a part of.
Okay.
And I skated my run, and I went and I watched the
Call
of Duty one. Yeah.
I was in Austin?
Austin.
Okay.
I was like, this is gnarly.
That is probably where we met.
Yeah.
Because that's where I met everybody else.
Yeah.
I think Shane participated in the All-Star match also.
Yeah.
For Call of Duty.
Because I'm like, who cares? I don't give a fuck. Whatever you want to do, I'm all about it. Like, and if you're the best at it, that is sick.
Yeah, that is sick.
And so when, that was very controversial for sure.
Yeah.
But I went and I watched, and the crowd was insane.
It's crazier now.
Yeah.
Stadium's full.
I gotta go. Can I be invited to the next contest?
I'm gonna tell you, not only are you invited, but I'll fly you out. I'll put you up to come to our major. It's what are you doing next weekend?
Next weekend.
Is it next weekend or is it 2 weekends? It's 2 weekends from now.
2 weekends from now.
And listen, if
I would
not,
love to. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in, If you're in, and if you want to play some golf with no, they're not there. The good boys are in Hawaii at that point.
Well, we'll do something. We'll figure it all out. Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate your time. I know that
thanks.
you're here, obviously, enjoying your time. I cannot thank you enough for coming on the podcast, making the time to come on the podcast. And if you do follow through, right, invite whoever you want to invite. We'll come out and we'll have a good time.
I swear to God, I would love to come watch you guys do your thing. And
dude, it'll make you feel good.
Okay, cool.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me.
Bro,
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Everybody, all his information is going to be listed in the description down below. Be sure to follow, and we'll see you guys next time for the next episode. Huge shout out to Mountain Dew for allowing us to do this podcast here. Having the time of my life. See you guys next time. Goodbye. If you're serious, I'm dead serious.
I swear to God, I would love to.